Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. Well, we have a jam-packed day full of animal projects today. We're really excited to bring you guys along. We've got some updates for you on how some of the animals are doing. We're also going to do some work with the cattle here in a little bit. Watson is going to have a very good day today. Let me just put it that way. Watson is our bull, if you're not familiar, and he's going to get to go in with all of the cows today.
We also have some new animals on the homestead. You didn't know it, but when Kevin was gone to Kansas City with his dad for surgery, we had new animals arrive on the homestead. So we get to share that with you today too.
And we're going to hopefully create some new animals today as well, because we're going to get some eggs loaded in the incubator. So we've got a lot to accomplish. We got about 2.5 inches of rain overnight last night, or yesterday afternoon to overnight. So it's quite wet out this morning. So we had to wait just a little while to get out here to do chores, but you can hear that the ducks and the geese are excited to get out here. So let's start chores here in Wattlesville. So the first thing we're going to do is let the geese out. It's been a while since you guys have seen the goslings. This spring, our geese, we have American buff geese. They hatched out 4 of their own goslings. This is the first time we've ever had goslings hatch here on the homestead. They laid a lot of eggs, but only 4 of them, well, 6 of them ended up hatching. 2 died within the first day, but these 4 that are left are doing great. These will ultimately be food for us, but they are going to live here all summer into maybe the late fall, when we will process them later on. You guys, the last time you saw these, I think they were still pretty darn small, so I think you're going to be amazed how big these goslings are getting. Good morning. Can you guys believe how big they are? Soon we are going to put leg bands on the goslings so that we can tell them apart, because if they get much bigger and get all of their regular feathers in, we may not know which are our 4 breeders and which are the goslings. This variety of geese, there's no difference between males and females. When we ordered them from the hatchery, we got them sexed, so we know that we have 3 females and a male, but there's no way for us to determine that later on. So we are going to mark the 4 goslings so that in the fall we can still tell them apart. Before I refill the goose water, I'm going to let the ducks out because they are being super loud. Good morning, ducks! If only we all woke up every morning with as much excitement as the ducks, that would be great. All right, let's give them their food and then we'll let the silkies out as well. I'm coming with your breakfast. Oh, your feeder's all full of water. All right, there we go.
Okay, let's let out the silkies and the Polish crested chickens. Now, this past Valentine's Day, Kevin bought me some Polish crested chicks because I just think that they're so cute. We raised them separately from the silkies, and then recently we kind of joined those 2 flocks, and they all live in here overnight. There have been no scuffles or anything, and so it's really been kind of a great transition for the 2 breeds to live together. So let's let them out. They're doing so well. Good morning, silkies. Good morning, Polish. They're all running over to the duck feed. I'm gonna feed them here, maybe they'll come back. No, the ducks are on their way over here to steal their food. Here. They're all doing so well and so beautiful. I just still cannot get over these like puff balls of feathers on top of the Polish crested heads. The hens are the ones that have like a round tuft of feathers on their head, and the roosters are the ones that are kind of a little more scraggly, but they're all beautiful. Overall, they're getting along really well. Now they're all together eating. They do all get along really well, and the Polish crested are very curious about us when we're out here. They'll kind of come and see what we're up to if we have something to give them to eat. When we're in here, they'll kind of follow us around. So they've been a really interesting personality for us to learn about with this, just a different type of chicken. The silky chickens, they're not skittish at all, but they just really don't care about us. They just kind of go about their business. They don't run away when we come around. The ducks, they just kind of do their own thing and have a good time all day long.
Well, Sarah told you guys that we have something new that you haven't seen yet. I don't know if you can see that chicken tractor over there. Well, there's not chickens in it, but there is something in it that needs to be taken care of this morning, so let's head over that way. All right, let's take a look inside and see what the new animal is. You probably already guessed it, even from a distance, but we've decided this year that we're going to raise some turkeys again. It's been several years since we've raised turkeys. We're only doing 4 of them because we're also going to have the 4 goslings to put in the freezer, and then we'll have our chickens to put in the freezer, and pigs and beef and everything else. So we're only doing 4 turkeys. We actually split an order of the turkey poults with our friends Rich and Shelley from Air to Ground Farms. So they have 4 of them, we have 4 of them, and it worked out well to split an order that way. Looks like these guys have everything they need for this morning. Their food is still full. It stayed nice and dry even in this tractor, so that's good. They are loving. We just moved them out here onto grass 2 or 3 days ago, and they're absolutely loving being out here instead of in our brooder barn. These guys are about 3 weeks old. They're starting to get, they're real feathers already. Now this is the broad-breasted white, so they're a very fast-growing turkey. They're not a heritage turkey that we could keep around forever. They are kind of like the Cornish cross equivalent of a turkey. So they will grow very fast, they'll get very big, but then they will be ready for the freezer. They're not something that you would want to keep on your homestead to, have as a sustainable source. So these guys will be ready before Thanksgiving, and we'll be able to have a homegrown turkey for Thanksgiving again this year. All right, like I said, it looks like they have everything that they need, so we don't really need to do anything for them this morning. Let's head over and let the breast chickens out.
Okay, we're going to let out our American breast chickens here. Their food pan is completely filled with water. And their food. Now this is our laying flock. The American breast chickens are actually a really true dual purpose breed of chickens for meat and for eggs. We've been keeping these guys around mostly for eggs, but also so that we can collect their eggs, their fertile eggs, and hatch them. so that we can raise their chicks for meat. And actually, today we're going to be setting about 53 of their eggs into our incubator so that we can raise that flock up for our meat for a year. So we're going to let these guys out. You can see how beautiful they are. I think we have nine or 10 hens and 1 rooster. Right now we have 2 broody hens. But they're a beautiful bird, nice and heavy birds. So this fall we will have a nice amount of chickens to go into the freezer. Well, now that we're done with all of the bird chores, Kevin and I are actually going to just quickly milk Babe, and we're going to bring her calf up here into this kind of barn lot here, keep them in here. That way, when we move cows around, the 2 of them are secure in here. We don't have to worry about them mixing with the beef herd. And then we'll bring you guys along when we introduce Watson to his herd of beautiful ladies.
Now that milking is done and Ralphie is reunited with Babe for the day, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to let Watson in with our herd of cows. Or the other way around.
Yeah, right now they're separated into 2 different paddocks, and they're separated by our driveway. You can see here. We don't care whether the cows come over to the side where Watson's at or vice versa. We just need them reunited and everybody on one side or the other. I think that what's going to happen is that our herd of cows is going to be so excited to move somewhere that they're probably going to all cross the driveway into the dairy pasture area, which is fine. That could actually be, it could stand to be eaten down for a few days. But whatever happens, happens. As long as it's safe and everybody ends up on one side or the other, it's fine.
Now Watson this is the first time he'll be with a herd of cows like this.
Right.
He is a registered Hereford bull that we purchased earlier this spring. So far this year we've had 2 calves born, but those aren't Watson's calves. Those are calves out of our old bull, Tex. You guys probably remember him. We had him for several years. But because we saved back so many of Tex's daughters, this year we replaced him with a new bull. Tex went to a great new home where he's now got a whole new herd of cows to take care of. And Watson now will hopefully be our bull here on the homestead for many, many years to come.
Now we have 6 cows.
Right.
And 8 heifers
right.
that he'll be breeding this season.
Right. So last year we sold off a bunch of our older cows. Mm-hmm. Some of them were having a hard time calving. Some of them had some behavior issues we didn't want to deal with anymore. So we sold off a bunch of the older cows and we kept back a bunch of heifers, which are females that have never had calves before. So Watson is supposed to be a very good bull. There's all these numbers you can look at when you buy a bull that will kind of determine if he'll make really big calves or really small calves. Watson is supposed to be more on the smaller calf side, which means he will be very good for breeding with first-time moms. And that's really one of the reasons we bought him.
Yeah, so technically, Watson is what's called a heifer bull. He'll be perfect for heifers because the calves will be smaller and easier to deliver. But his numbers suggest that even though his calves will be small at birth, they will grow very quickly.
Right, so he'll be good for the cows too, but he'll really be good for these heifers. All right, let's head down the driveway. We're gonna get things kind of set up. When we do this, we just kind of make kind of a temporary chute across the driveway. We use the UTV, we use an old gate.
We just kind of piece things
kind
together.
Kind of a hodgepodge, but it works really well.
Works well, yeah.
So let's go down the driveway and get set up. So you can see we have a gate over on this side of the driveway. We also have a gate over on this side of the driveway. These 2 gates will open and create a barrier right over here. On this side, this is where we use the UTV. And then we have this old broken gate that I just keep leaned up here all the time. I'll just prop that against the UTV. The cows never, once they see it there, they don't even try to knock it over. Well, Watson, today's your lucky day. You're not going to know what to do with yourself. Actually, I bet you will. All right, you girls want to go in with Watson? Guess that great gate sagged a little bit. All right, girls, come on. Let's go. Ooh, Watson's excited. Go on, girls. Well, I guess he's going with them. Go on. Go on. All right, well, that went smoothly. Everybody is excited, especially Watson. Let's go ahead and get this locked back up so they stay where they're supposed to stay. So this is the side over here where normally our dairy cows are. We've moved them up to what we call our barn lot, which is just a smaller paddock. They'll be fine up there for several days because we have plenty of grass up there for them. And it'll be good to have the big herd over here because they'll eat this grass down quite a bit more than just the dairy cows will. This is really a little too much land for just Babe and Ralphie. So it'll be good to have the other cows here so they graze it down a little bit before we put them back out here. All right, we're going to get everything locked back up, and we'll just see how Watson settles in with the girls. All of our outside chores are done, so we're back in the house, and it's time to put some hatching eggs into the incubator. These are the American breast chicken eggs, and these will be our meat for the next year once these chickens grow up. We're putting them in the incubator now. It's June 1st, which means that by the time they incubate and then we raise them for about 16 weeks, we should be able to process these chickens right around the end of October, which in our climate here is perfect because the weather's starting to cool down by that point and it works out really well. So I've got the incubator here. We have what's called an Brincy Ovation EX incubator. It holds 56 chicken eggs at a time. So let's open this up. The one thing that I like about these incubators versus like the older styrofoam ones like we used to have is that this one has a humidity pump, which means you can just have a jar of water here and it actually will pull the water in and make the humidity inside of the incubator perfect all of the time. So on our incubator here, the eggs will go pointy end down. And today we are going to be loading in 52 chicken eggs. We've collected these over about the last 6 or 7 days. There have been some that we've had to toss because we've gotten so much rain that if they were too dirty, we didn't keep them. But I think all of these are clean enough to go into the incubator. Now this incubator also has an automatic egg turner. So you can actually set how often you want the eggs to turn, but normally we do it every 2 hours. So the motor in there will actually tilt the eggs one way, and then 2 hours later it'll tilt it back the other way, and it'll do that 24 hours a day. So I'm going to go ahead and get these all loaded, and then we'll move on to actually setting it up, get the temperature and everything set. And then it's just a matter of waiting really about 18 days. On day 18, we'll take them out of the egg turner. And then around day 21 is when the eggs will actually hatch. All right, they are all loaded. As we were loading them, Sarah actually said, why don't we run out and see if there's 4 more eggs today? So we did, and there were exactly 4 more eggs out there. So now we have a full incubator full, 56 eggs. We're going to go ahead and put the cover on. And we're going to get this plugged in. And this one has a digital display. And I'm pretty sure I already have it all set to exactly what we need. Nope, I do have to adjust the humidity. So I know the temperature is already set to 99.5, which is what we want. Humidity is still set at 70% from the goose eggs that we had in there. We're going to set this down to 40% until it's time for lockdown. The rest of this is all okay. And there we go. You guys, these eggs will now be in here for 18 days with the turner on. After 18 days, we'll take them and we'll lay them on their sides in the bottom of the incubator. And just a few days after that, we'll start getting chicks. Well, you guys, thank you so much for spending part of the day with us today. We hope you enjoyed seeing all of the animals. It's always a balance here on our channel to try to show you guys animal videos and gardening videos and cooking videos and everything else. And we don't want to overdo one, but we always want to show you guys what's going on all different parts of the homestead.
Hey, you guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And remember, the best way to help us here on the homestead is just to share our videos on your social media. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.